Hello and welcome to week 4 of my weekly updates of my musical theater writing process. It's hard to believe we're already on week 4. Next week we're going to be a 10th of the way through the year pretty much. That's kind of crazy. Things are flying by. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me in these little weekly updates if you've been doing that. Obviously you've been doing that because you're here. So a few things before we dive into what I've been writing this week. A couple of other updates about what I've been doing this week. When you're seeing this on Sunday, last night, so Saturday, I will have just finished playing in something called the Dark Day Cabaret at Icarus Theatre in Toronto. The venue is Buddies in Bad Times Theatre. The company is called Icarus Theatre. And so here's the website. Oh, look, who's that? Oh, it's me. Before I cut my hair, I sang for them in one of their cabarets. And now I'm kind of their go-to accompanist. So I've been accompanying this show. It's like a musical theater cabaret night with a bunch of off-contract musical theater singers from Canada. Every month, last Saturday of the month at Buddies in Bad Times Theatre. It's like a super fun time. I'm sure we had a lot of fun last night, even though when I'm recording this, I haven't done that yet, which is kind of a weird thing about the internet. But I'm sure we had a lot of fun last night. I've definitely had a lot of fun the rest of the times that I've done this cabaret. So if you're in Toronto, Saturday nights, the last Saturday of every month, you should come check it out. Dark Day Cabaret, just wanted to give that a shout out. The other thing, oops, I spoiled it. Not that there's much to spoil, but the other thing is that I just finished working on a video all about the new Mean Girls movie musical. Of course, I'm talking about the Mean Girls movie musical on this channel. That's coming out on Wednesday. Definitely, hit that notification bell or whatever the YouTubers tell you to do in order to see that. It's like a 35-minute long video where I just talk about all of my thoughts about the way that they tell their story. I think they did some really, really cool things in the movie. I go through each musical number and break it down. If you're interested in seeing that, it's coming out on the channel on Wednesday. And there's one more thing. Oh, the other thing is that I'm going to start posting on Tuesdays just a short little music theory, quick starter kit kind of series of videos. So it's going to be these 5-minute videos where I just talk about basic musical theory concepts, such as time signatures, major and minor scales, major scales, minor scales, relative, parallel, chords, triads, things like that, so that when I address those things in my videos, I don't have to explain them every single time, and I can just point you to that video if you don't know what the terminology means. And if you do know what the terminology means, then I'm not wasting your time. So it's going to be super awesome. That's on Tuesdays. Okay, let's talk about what I wrote this week. So this is the first song. Well, I've already written these songs. As you can see, this one I haven't even edited in a few weeks. But this is a song that I finished recording the demo for this week. It's called Skeletons. It's from Tommy RHODES. It's this very straight-laced older lady who's basically telling Charlotte to stop trying to solve the mystery because some skeletons are better left in the closet. Basically, she's saying, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Will you be able to handle the truth when it comes out? And it all has this very staccato chromatic sound. And so the thing with this song is that I needed to find a way to make it spooky, but also to make the character feel very strict and proper. So I couldn't have super weird harmony in here because the character needs to be very straight-laced and proper. What I did was I kept the rhythm very straight-laced and proper, and then I had the downbeats always be very consonant chords, solid chords like this F sharp open 5th chord here, the E open 5th chord there. This is just a pure F sharp minor triad. This is just a D. But then you'll see the harmony in between the downbeats gets a little crazy. So we always have this solid home bass that we're coming back to on the downbeat of every single bar. And then the harmony kind of shifts and takes us to the next bar in a weird way. But then we land there in a consonant place. So there's these spooky moments and then we land in a consonant place that's strict and proper. Then there's a spooky moment and then we land in a place that's strict and proper. So a good example of that would be, let's say here, going into this little bar here, going into the next section, we're landing on that F sharp open 5 chord, but going into it, we've got this, that B sharp. It leads nicely into the F sharp 5 because the C natural or the B sharp in that chord beforehand ba-dum, it leads very nicely to the C sharp in the F sharp open 5 chord. But the chord itself is not what you would expect. You would expect that to be a B natural, right? You would expect, and with the left hand, so it's a nice C sharp 7 leading to the F sharp minor. But instead of that, I give you just like that one weird note that leads into the proper harmony. So there's a bunch of that makes it just a little bit spookier. So it's the sound of those skeletons in the closet, those scary truths that you don't want to know. I'm trying to evoke that musically. The other thing I thought was cool about this song is I throw in the mystery theme here. Every time Charlotte is searching for the truth, we hear this same theme throughout the show. Right? Here, we get it underneath the melody that Aunt Clara is singing. So Aunt Clara sings, I know my truth is that my brother taught me how to play bridge and how to catch a fish, right? But underneath it, we're getting and putting them together, it's like this really weird. Sorry, my mouse pad fell onto my keyboard and got in the way there. But you get the idea. And you can listen to the demo to hear the whole, how that fits together. It's kind of cool. And it's kind of a clever little Easter egg that I threw in there because I'm a writer and writers like to throw in clever little Easter eggs. The other song that I worked on this week is called Somethin Ain't Right. This is also from Tommy RHODES. And it's a song for Tommy's father, Henry. And basically it happens right after Tommy comes home. And Henry feels like, well, something ain't right. Something's a little bit different about this boy who came home. Spoiler alert, that's because it's not the same boy. And Henry can sense this. But in this song, he basically logics himself out of it. He tries to convince himself that it's all okay. And besides, you don't want to spoil it for Leslie, who is learning to smile again when you've watched her cry every day for close to a year. The big thing with this song, and again, you can listen to the full song in the description. I have a demo of it. But the big thing I wanted to accomplish with this song is I wanted to make it feel uncertain and make it feel like that nagging feeling when something isn't quite adding up. But I also wanted it to feel like Henry. So it needed to feel like, you know, Southern United States, early 1900s folk music. And I didn't quite do that the first draft. The first draft I wrote, I use a lot of this little triplet, and I use it sometimes in this new version. This thing here, it sounds like this. Because that to me, that little sound, it's the sound of like a mosquito buzzing around your ears. That sounds to me like something that you can't quite repress, that you feel is wrong, that you want to get it right, like that. There's something about that feels very truthful to me, and is how I, Mateo Chavez Lewis, would feel in that situation, but I am not Henry, is a big lesson for me as a writer in this song. I wrote the song originally to musically express how I would feel in this situation. Like there's this little buzzing in my ear. That's what it would sound to me. But Henry, who grew up around a different kind of music than I did, he would be hearing something else. And so I tried to kind of combine the two. I don't know how successful I was. There's a little bit of guitar, like just MIDI, electronic, like computerized guitar sound, which it sounds horrible, but you get the idea, in the demo recording. So let me know if you think it works to sound kind of folkish. I think these 16th notes that I have right now, the 16th note strumming, I have like I think it succeeds in creating the spooky feeling that I'm going for, but it also sounds a little bit more bolero than folk. So let me know if it's working for you. I'm not sold on this, and this song has been giving me a little bit of trouble. One might say that something ain't right with Somethin Ain't Right. Yuck, I'm here all day. Yeah, so those are the two songs that I worked on this week. Again, if you want to listen to demo recordings of the full songs where I sing all the parts, obviously, and play all the parts on my keyboard, you can listen to those at the links in the description. And I actually have a full 35-minute demo of the first 35 minutes of Tommy Rhodes in the current draft that is going to be available to my patrons on Patreon. So if you are interested in hearing how all of these songs are coming together so far in this like first third of the musical, you can actually listen to the whole thing now on Patreon. So go over to Patreon and check it out. You can sign up for as little as $4 a month, and I think it's kind of worth it. It's like supporting like a really cool and talented and handsome YouTuber, so I think you should do it. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, thank you so much for coming and watching this little update, and I will see you on Tuesday in my music theory video, on Wednesday in my Mean Girls video, and then of course on Sunday in my next musical theater writing update video. I'll see you there. Peace out.